Today I'm going to be reviewing these Inflame fire starters that were recently sent to me by the brand. These are designed according to the brand to last 8 to 12 minutes, which I'm going to be testing out here to see how long they actually last here in my fire pit. Now I'm also going to be testing out to see how well they actually light using an electric lighter and then also a traditional butane lighter as well. So let me go ahead and open this up. So this is what it's going to look like inside. So each of these fire starters are just going to be wrapped like this. This is going to be nice and tightly wrapped. I'm just going to leave them wrapped when I do test it out. I'm going to do a fire in 2 different locations, testing out, a couple of them at a time, trying to light one with the electric lighter, which is obviously going to be harder to light than the one with the butane lighter. So again, I'm going to be doing that one over there. But this is what the full box is going to look like. Now, if you're unfamiliar with electric lighter, essentially it's just going to be a little spark that runs in between there, right? So just by pushing the button, probably hard to see, hard to get it to focus, but there's this little light, a little spark that goes in between this top part right up there at the top between those two little wires. So I'm going to be testing out to see how well that works to light it. So this is going to be like just a small spark, right? So it's going to have to be on there, and you can see that it actually did light even with that small spark. So that is going to be really nice. Now, current time here is currently 12:50. So I'm going to see how long this actually lasts. But as you can see, even just that small spark did light, which I love, okay? Because maybe you're out in the woods, you don't have a lighter with you, you're just going to be using like a flint or something like that. Even just a small spark from this electric lighter lit it without any problem. So that's going to be really, really nice. So I'm just going to kind of let that sit there, see how long it takes. I'm going to be lighting this one with the butane lighter, and obviously butane is traditionally going to work far better, but for that I'm just going to be doing it here. And you can see how much quicker and better the butane lighter works with it. But even with that small spark from the electric lighter, it definitely did work. So now we're going to see how long these actually last. So we are at 12:55, so 5 minutes in, and as you can see, they are still burning. Now, there's not a whole lot left of this one. This one I lit probably 30 seconds before I lit that one, but they are both still actively burning. So we're going to see how long that lasts and what time they burn out. So we are at 12:57. I see if I can get it to come up here on my watch. There we go. And as you can see, this has now burned out. So actual burn time on this is going to be about 7 minutes. It's starting to smoke. It's still smoking. So like technically I could probably still use, I'm going to use one of these dry leaves. I bet I could use a dry leaf and still kind of catch it on fire, just because there's still like embers and stuff in there that you could still lose for the fire. But it's no longer actively burning on its own at that time, right? So we're 7 minutes in, and that's about when it is done. You can see there's enough spark in there to like singe the leaf, not even necessarily enough to start it. If I did like some dry grass, I'm sure it would work better than that leaf. But you do get around 7 minutes or so on these. So not quite the 8 to 12 minutes that it said, but 7 minutes is still plenty of time for you to be able to add, some really dry grass to it, add some small sticks, etc. That one over there is actually actively still burning. Again, that one I started probably 30 seconds or so later. Now it is kind of a windy day, so that may have affected it as well, just because, the wind blows through it, so maybe cause it to burn a tiny bit faster. But we're now at 12:58 here on my watch, and you can see that one still has a tiny bit of a flame, is about to the point where it's done as well. So you get about 7 or 8 minutes on these in normal circumstances, which is pretty good for a fire starter. I love the fact that it literally just took a little bit of a spark, even with that electric lighter, to be able to light it up. So works very, very well.